4 million nearly new motorhomes just hit the market, and it's turning into a full-blown disaster.
Other news tonight, a scary situation for one Las Vegas man after the RV he was driving caught fire on a local freeway this morning.
Dealers are drowning in unsold rigs, banks are freezing credit lines, and prices are crashing faster than anyone expected. What looks like a booming industry has flipped overnight into liquidation chaos. Rows of brand new motorhomes are being sold for pennies just to survive. And if you think this is just a seasonal dip, you're wrong. It's way worse. The question isn't if the market crashes, it's who gets crushed first. The headline no one believed. Total motorhome shipments in May broke every record on file, up 11.8% year over year. What sounds like healthy growth is actually the warning light of a collapse. 4 million nearly new motorhomes are now flooding America's market, stacked in storage lots, lined across auction lanes, and sitting on dealer pads that no longer have room to breathe. The photos coming out of Indiana, Texas, and Florida show rows of unsold units glittering under floodlights, not as inventory but as evidence. The headlines call it a correction. Dealers call it survival. Every industry bulletin tells the same story. Units that cost $129,995 last year are now marked at $101,000. That is a $28,000 fall before a single negotiation. Manufacturers blame seasonality. Analysts point to overproduction. But if you step back, you can see what is really happening. This is not a market adjusting. It is a system breaking under its own weight. And that begs the question no one wants to answer. What if this isn't supply? It's a spillover they can't control. What triggered that spillover wasn't greed alone. It started with a moment that felt like freedom. How pandemic freedom became overbilled. During the lockdown years of 2020 and 2021, the open road became a symbol of safety. Families trapped in apartments dreamed of self-contained travel, and the motorhome industry delivered. Stimulus checks, near-zero interest rates, and restless savings collided into the largest buying wave in history. Dealers could not keep up. Factory floors ran double shifts. Executives boasted about waiting lists stretching half a year ahead. The belief was simple. Travel on wheels was the new normal, and the boom would never end. Then came the rebound. Fuel prices climbed, loan rates doubled, and that forever demand vanished overnight. Buyers who stretched credit lines to chase the dream were left with heavy payments and little appetite to travel. Yet production did not slow. Contracts had locked manufacturers into months of non-stop builds. When the orders dried up, the inventory kept rolling off the line. By the time the market realized what was happening, the overflow had already begun. Those same dealers now sit surrounded by the hoa, ghosts of the pandemic rush. The party ended, but the bills did not. The contracts they signed then are crushing them now. And when the payments caught up, the excess had to go somewhere, which is why storage yards tell the real story. If you've already seen prices crash where you live, drop a comment below and tell us what's happening in your area. Every story helps map this collapse in real time, so hit like, share your proof, and help others stay informed. Storage lots and silent auctions. Drive past the industrial parks around Elkhart, Indiana, or Waco, Texas, and you will see fields that look like outdoor trade shows. Thousands of motorhomes parked wheel to wheel, engines cold, windows taped. Many of these are less than a year old, unsold trade-ins or returns from canceled financing deals. Leaked photos from regional auctions show hundreds of units listed in back-to-back liquidation events. The schedules doubled in size from March to May, and the starting bids keep slipping lower each week. Aerial images show storage rows half a mile long. Overflow fills rented farmland. A leaked Indiana auction sheet labels them aged units for liquidation. Every sale spawns another shipment from the same plant. The loop feeds itself. Next week, those same units return wearing repo tags. Behind that quiet rotation was a decision made far above the dealer lot, one that changed the rules overnight. The memo that changed everything. In the late spring of 2025, an internal bulletin leaked from a top manufacturer to its regional dealers. The document, marked Confidential Adjustment Plan, ordered an immediate 40% production reduction and authorized aggressive discount targets to stabilize floor plan exposure. It was the industry's coded way of saying, dump everything fast. Within days, freight companies were rerouting shipments straight from factories to liquidation hubs. Dealers who resisted were warned that future allocations would be frozen. That memo confirmed what the numbers already hinted. The oversupply wasn't an accident. It was an orchestrated purge designed to clear credit lines before the next fiscal review. Auction capacity expanded overnight, and entire states turned into clearance corridors. Analysts tracking VIN movements noticed a new pattern: motorhomes skipping retail lots entirely, going straight from assembly to auction. What had been marketed as demand-driven expansion was now revealed as strategic dumping. The problem is, every discount cuts another hole in the dealer's balance sheet. For them, slowing production doesn't stop the bleeding, it accelerates it. Because when factories slow, dealers bleed faster. The floor plan trap. Every dealer lives and dies by one number: floor plan interest. It is the invisible clock ticking behind every polished sales pitch. Dealers borrow millions through revolving credit lines to stock their lots, paying daily interest until each motorhome sells. During the boom, those payments felt manageable, rates were low, turnover was fast, and lenders were generous. Now, with sales collapsing, every unsold unit becomes a financial anchor. A leaked curtailment notice from a major lender shows the pressure clearly. Payments rising 15% month over month, and penalties for aging inventory kicking in at 90 days. Full lots once meant success. Now, they drain cash daily. Idle units rack up five-figure interest losses. Dealers slash prices, shuffle inventory, and gamble on weekend sales to survive. The floor plan clock never stops ticking. Tomorrow's audit decides who keeps their lights on. And when those lights flicker, the truth doesn't hide in press releases. It shows up under the fluorescent glare of the auction lanes. Auctions don't lie. If you want to see panic translated into numbers, stand at a regional auction in Indiana or Texas. The air smells of diesel and desperation. Rows of nearly new motorhomes roll forward, each tagged with a reserve that means less with every passing hour. Last summer, a 2023 model listed at $129,995. Today, the same unit barely reaches $101,000 before the hammer drops. Dealers call these adjustments. Bidders call them opportunities. Either way, the losses are real and rising. Auction data sheets from May confirm a steady slide. Clearance rates dropping from 80% to just over 60% within 6 weeks. Every sale resets the market's baseline lower, forcing guidebooks to follow. The applause that once followed a high bid is gone. Now there's only silence and calculators. Some dealers attend not to buy, but to unload, trading near new inventory for cash to cover curtailments. Transport trucks circle like vultures, waiting to haul the next batch away. Analysts track the downward curve and warn there is no sign of a bottom yet. The numbers aren't bottoming yet. When the auction lanes start emptying, another silence spreads hundreds of miles north, inside the factories that once couldn't build fast enough. Factories fall silent. In northern Indiana, the heartbeat of American motorhome production, the assembly lines that once roared now whisper. Parking lots that overflowed with worker cars a year ago sit half empty. Warn notices, worker adjustment, and retraining notifications arrive weekly, each naming dozens of employees suddenly, temporarily separated. Suppliers who build cabinetry, axles, and windows report canceled orders with no restart date. For a region that built its identity on mobility, the slowdown feels like a standstill. Production output has plunged 40% since January, crippling subcontractors and shrinking freight through Elkhart County. Each shutdown adds backdated invoices, fewer parts, and deeper price drops. Proof that factory silence amplifies the glut, not ends it. And while people whisper about layoffs, a quieter force has taken control. The software that now dictates every price tag in the country. The silent price engine. Behind every public price drop is a private algorithm adjusting faster than any salesman could. When wholesale values fall at auction, data firms like J.D. Power and Black Book log the changes within days. Their monthly revision sheets act as command signals for banks, insurers, and online marketplaces. A single downward update can erase thousands in listed value overnight. That recalculation triggers a chain reaction. Lenders reduce loan ceilings. Buyers qualify for smaller amounts. Dealers panic again, and more inventory hits liquidation. A technician from a national data aggregator described it bluntly. Our numbers move faster than the market can breathe. The loop has no emotion, no hesitation, only math. math. One leaked black book sheet from June shows depreciation curves redrawn 3 times in a single month. Each update feeds back into dealer pricing software, rewriting ads automatically. What used to be human judgment has become machine correction. The panic is now automated. Every new discount feeds the next one. The cycle will keep tightening until the inventory shrinks or financing collapses entirely. The math now writes the ads for them. Repo season arrives. It begins quietly, just before dawn. A tow truck backs into a suburban driveway, orange lights flashing against the aluminum siding. The driver carries a clipboard and a code from the lender. Inside the locked garage sits a 2-year-old motorhome, still smelling of road trips and optimism. The owner fell 3 payments behind after fuel and insurance costs jumped. Within minutes, the rig is chained, lifted, and gone. What happens next is a cycle repeated thousands of times across the country. Lenders are in recovery mode. A leaked repo list shows over 12,000 units slated for pickup, triple last year. Convoys head to Texas and Florida auctions, flooding supply and slashing prices. Tow crews run non-stop. Repo season isn't a phase. It's an industry lining up for miles. And mixed in with that flood of repos are units that look perfect on the outside, until you discover where they have already been. The zombie units. They shine under showroom lights, smell faintly of polish, and promise low miles. Yet some of these so-called bargains are already dead. Across the southern states, storm-damaged and flood-soaked motorhomes are reappearing with clean titles after being washed through quiet resales. Photos from Gulf Coast storage yards show entire rows of waterlogged models now listed on used sites with no mention of prior loss. The paperwork looks flawless because the state transfers reset their history. What you see as a discount may hide a corrosion time bomb. Moisture trapped inside walls rots floors, shorts wiring, and breeds hidden mold. Half of discounted trades hid past insurance claims. Always check the vehicle identification number in NMVTIS, demand moisture tests, and walk if refused. Many like-new bargains are already decaying inside. But while damaged rigs lurk in disguise, even healthy models are losing value faster than anyone expected, and not equally. Winners and sinkers. Not every class is falling at the same speed. The pyramid that once crowned Class A luxury coaches at the top is collapsing from above. Models once selling for over $200,000 now list below $130,000. Their appetite for diesel and high insurance makes them the first casualties of tighter credit. Class C motorhomes, smaller but still self-contained, hold up slightly better, slipping around 15% on average. Families see them as practical, not indulgent, but even those prices are softening. Towable trailers and pop-up campers, cheaper to store, drop less than 10%. Simplicity shields them. The pricier the rig, the harder the fall. Yet amid collapse, compact Class B vans are stabilizing first. Efficient, versatile, and retiree-friendly. They're quietly leading recovery. The rebound may rise from the bottom, not the top. Knowing which classes survive is only half the battle. Timing your move is where the real savings hide. If you've learned something that protects your wallet today, subscribe right now. The next video tracks the next market phase before headlines catch up. Stay sharp, stay early, and never let dealers or lenders outsmart you again. Your edge starts here. Timing. Windows. Every crash creates 2 narrow windows when smart buyers quietly step in. The first arrives in late winter, just before spring shipments reset dealer credit lines. Floor plan renewals force managers to clear aged stock at any cost. A leaked dealer schedule shows curtailment reviews due in February, right when snow still covers most lots. The perfect moment when desperation beats demand. The second window opens in early autumn as next year's models ship. Current inventory suddenly becomes aged, and lenders demand repayment before new allocations. That's when must-sell banners appear overnight. Between those windows, emotion lifts prices. Smart buyers wait, tracking floor plan calendars, not ads. Data shows discounts peak 18 days pre-renewal. Bid within that 30-day pressure zone. Strike when dealers need the sale most. Patience pays. The next window opens in 30 days. Mapping the safe zones. Every collapse leaves weak spots and safe zones, and right now, geography decides who wins. In Indiana, Texas, and Florida, 3 states tied to overproduction and storage, liquidation pressure is at its highest. Freight tracking logs from June show the same pattern. Trucks hauling repos and aged stock from northern factories down to southern auction corridors. The root tells the story before the eye. Headlines do. When freight volume rises and retail ads switch overnight from summer savings to below-cost clearance, you're looking at a desperation zone. Dealers in Elkhart, Waco, and Tampa are advertising price drops up to 30% on models less than 2 years old. Compare that with listings in the Pacific Northwest or Upper Midwest, where prices remain inflated because supply lines thinned earlier. Those dealers still live off old illusions of demand. The rule is simple: follow the trucks, not the ads. Freight density reveals where lenders apply the most pressure. Desperation is measurable. It has a zip code, and you just have to spot it. Once you've found where the discounts live, the next step is knowing exactly how to speak in numbers, not emotion, when you make your move. Offer math that wins. Negotiation isn't guesswork, it's arithmetic. Dealers count on buyers folding under emotion, but numbers remove their leverage. Start with the current wholesale value. What similar units sell for at auction? Subtract the estimated repair costs and your personal profit target, even if that profit just means saved maintenance later. The formula looks simple: wholesale minus repairs minus margin equals your bid. A clean 2023 model that wholesales for $40,000 but needs $2,000 in tires and $1,000 in seal work becomes a $37,000 offer. It's not haggling, it's math. State your number, stay silent, and let data speak. One Indiana buyer used this: a Class C listed at $50,000 sold for $38,000. Precision beats pressure. One number said right wins the deal. But a great price means nothing if the paperwork hides trouble. Before signing anything, the smartest move isn't what you buy, it's what you walk away from. Close or walk. Closing is where most buyers lose control. Dealers rush paperwork, skipping details buried in fine print. Protect yourself by treating the close like an inspection, not a celebration. Start with verification. Cross-check the vehicle identification number through the National Motor Vehicle Title Information System and confirm no flood or salvage history. Then verify odometer readings and the listed year on both the title and purchase agreement. Even one digit off can void future resale. Inspect every seal, vent, and outlet like buying a house. Test water lines, check for mold, and demand an itemized out-the-door contract. If anything feels rushed, walk. One step away can save 5 years of repairs. The 30-foot rule holds true. Distance brings clarity, and bad deals cost dearly. When you know where to hunt, how to bid, and when to walk, the chaos finally turns into control, and the system that caused this mess starts working for you. The final turn of the wheel. The crash didn't start with greed alone. It began with easy money and ended with hard math. From the pandemic boom to the rate shock that followed, the entire industry bet on endless credit and constant travel. Now, those bets are coming due. 4 million unsold motorhomes revealed what happens when optimism meets leverage. Yet for the cautious buyer, the one watching instead of rushing, this downturn is opportunity disguised as disaster. Each audit and slowdown squeezes dealers, not you. Wait 30 days for the next floor plan cycle. Prices will fall again. Patience becomes profit. Ignore hype, trust receipts, and let their urgency create your discount. The cycle that broke them now protects you. What's happening now isn't just a market correction. It's a reset of everything we thought we knew about value, timing, and trust. 4 million motorhomes don't flood the market by accident. They do it because someone's pressure became your opportunity. Watch the numbers, not the noise. Wait for the next floor plan cycle and move when their urgency peaks. Because in every collapse, the quietest buyers win. Stay sharp, stay subscribed, and turn every dealer's panic into your advantage.